Woo! Hey, people. I have found yet another way to reuse those cups you get at fast food restaurants. If you've seen my last video, which if you haven't, you probably should, I made some cute fall vases out of those cups. I talked about how wasteful those places are and how to make the vases, so yeah, go check it out. I must admit, I was a little skeptical when God put this idea in my head. Making a cornucopia out of cups. But you know, every idea I've had so far has worked out fine. I like to plan my project out ahead of time, so I would just worry about it later when the time comes to make it. After doing a little thinking on this, I've concluded that maybe not just any cup will work. I was thinking maybe those styrofoam ones will be better instead of the plastic and paper cups, because they tend to shape and bend more easily and won't melt from the hot glue. I slid around the top of the cup using scissors because it seemed wise to do so. My reasoning is that it will make the cup more malleable and less likely to break when I start putting stuff on it. Because leather is pretty heavy and I was planning on using that. I also wrapped some electric tape around the top because I wanted to form the cup into a certain shape so that it won't roll around so much. Next, I took a Pepsi bottle I had lying around and cut the top off like I did for those toothpick holders and tree I made a few weeks ago. Those are also videos you should check out. I took the top of the bottle and wrapped it around the bottom of the cup using electrical tape. I wanted to give it that little curl that most cornucopias have, so therefore I stuck it on there at an angle at about 45 degrees or so. Next thing I did was, of course, add the leather to the cup and bottle with hot glue. You don't need to use this material, just so you know. I know people have some beef with it, but my brother brought home a lot of scrap leather from his workplace, and I thought that using it would make this cornucopia even more unique. But looking back at it now, it's probably not the best thing to use. If you're going to use leather, it will take a lot of time and patience. I wouldn't recommend using hot glue for it, especially if all the pieces are cut in weird ways. Because, unlike regular fabric, seeing hot glue on leather makes the project a little tacky. It would probably be better if you sewed it on there if you can, but since I can't sew, I just stuck it with hot glue. Also, it takes quite a bit of hot glue to get anything to stick together because leather is a thick material, and you kind of see me just sitting there for long periods of time holding it all together with my hands, waiting for it to dry. I had to use clothing pins so that I could move on to some other stuff. I attempted to get the leather to go up a bit for that curl, using that bottle for a skeleton, but I used so much glue and it wasn't looking too good. So yeah, overall I would not recommend it. Don't worry though, there is a happy ending to all of this. I promise that God has given me an idea to make this look a little better, which you'll see towards the end because God will never leave you hanging. I added some twine towards the opening of the cornucopia because I wanted to make it a little more obvious that this was indeed a cornucopia. It'll add a different texture and color to the piece, which I think will complement the burgundy leather. I wasn't going to worry about the inside of the cornucopia because there's going to be a ton of plants and stuff on the inside. But if you do decide to cover that part up, do it before you attach the water bottle to the cup. It'll just make things a whole lot easier. And that's about all I recorded, but that didn't mean that the project was done. I went to some of my family members and they didn't really care for this leather-bound cornucopia. I mean, just look at it. It looked very tacky and the twine didn't help, but it also didn't make it look worse. While I was talking to my mom about it, God gave me what I needed to improve this. I just wrapped a little twine around the rest of the cornucopia and kind of made it look like an ancient artifact, which was cool. So you could have a medieval Thanksgiving with this if you wanted to. Then I realized that I could use some burlap, twist it, and bend it to form that curl that I wanted. I would also have the added bonus of covering up my shoddy glue job with it. Burlap is just a lifesaver because it can be used for a lot of things and it looks pretty good with most materials, including leather. And that, my friends, is the end of this project. This was certainly unique. I'm not sure if I like it, but I think it'll look a lot better with some plants, veggies, fruit and stuff. Plus, I get the privilege of telling people how I made a cornucopia out of leather, a styrofoam cup, and a Pepsi bottle. If you guys want an interesting story to tell your friends, you can make your own version of a cornucopia. Fall is coming soon, and it's a great time to get started on this DIY. Show me how you would make this. You can link your project in the comments below or send it to me on my Facebook page. You'll have the chance to have your projects be featured towards the end of my next video. So if that's what you want to do, go ahead and do it. If you want to stay up to date on any new projects, ideas, and such in the works, you can follow me on Facebook, Pinterest, or subscribe to my channel here. Have a good day and peace out.